Let's see what we got here. How in the shit do I not see a camera? There we are. Holy fuck. How's it going, y'all? So look, the Mueller report came out today. And as we've been telling you for the last, almost 3 years now, there was not going to be anything that 100% linked Donald Trump and the Russian government to colluding for Trump to win the presidency. We knew that was a bullshit story when it came out. We know it's a bullshit story now, and hopefully more people are starting to realize that it's a bullshit story. However, the pundit class is not going to let this go. They are going to hold on to this shit because they've spent 3 fucking years pouring all of their energy into this bullshit conspiracy. Left alone in the entire Mueller report, and it was sort of touched on today with Bill Barr coming out and just flat the fuck out disseminating his own version of bullshit surrounding it, is the narrative that Russia hacked our freedom. Y'all, I need to be perfectly clear about this. When Bill Barr stood up there today and didn't draw a definitive line saying on this side of the line is a bunch of fucking tinfoil hat morons who believe that Russia hacked the DNC servers and coordinated with WikiLeaks to make Hillary Clinton look bad. And then over here on the other side of that line are people who have been reading Aaron Mate's reporting and watching Jimmy Dore's show and watching this show and listening to the people from VIPs and like Bill Binney and get your information from places like Consortium News. I highly recommend that you go and check out Consortium News, and I will put a link in the description at the bottom, because they have a fantastic article up right now about the Mueller report, and I am working really, really, really hard right now, y'all, to like put together the software in order for me to be able to show you the articles and shit like that. Right now, I am working on subpar equipment, and I don't have the processing power to use any of the studio programs that that you can download in order to make this shit so much easier. But if you go, Jesus Christ, why can't I just find Consortium News here? There it is. Right now, on the front page of Consortium News, there's an article that says VIP's fault Mueller probe criticized refusal to interview Julian Assange. Now, central to this whole Russia hacked our freedom narrative is Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. Julian Assange, as we know, is currently being held in a UK prison that they liken to their Guantanamo Bay. This article opens up by saying the bug in Mueller's report released on Thursday is that he accepts that the Russian government interfered in the election. Trump should challenge that. Now, I'm not advocating Donald Trump getting out and addressing much of anything, because by his mere presence, by his every word, he delegitimizes any truth that may be a part of what he's saying. I've made a similar point with Alex Jones. Alex Jones isn't wrong 100% of the time. Alex Jones is probably one of the most classic examples of controlled opposition that I could think of. What Alex Jones does is, again, he delegitimizes the fucking truth. Every time he speaks, he delegitimizes the truth. What we're going to see in the Mueller, in the fallout from the Mueller report, is a media dedicated to pushing the narrative that Russia hacked the election. We're not going to have any bold steps taken to prevent interference with our elections because we ourselves, as American government, interfere with everybody's fucking elections. There's a very famous Time magazine article cover with Boris Yeltsin on the cover, and it's the title of the article is "Yanks to the Rescue: How American Intelligence Agencies Helped Russia Get Their '92 Election of Boris Yeltsin." We don't give a fuck about the sanctity or the security of any other nation. But we are going to use Russian interference as a pretext for silencing all kinds of dissent on this issue. If you guys have been paying attention at all to either Disobedient Media or Consortium News's writing on this subject, reporting on this subject, the one thing that they have done better than anyone else is get a hold of people who can forensically study whether or not a system has been hacked. They've highlighted the work of a person called the Forensicator, who has discovered and has broken the narrative in and of itself that the persona known as Guccifer 2 was in fact an agent of Vladimir Putin's, or involved with the hacking of the DNC servers and getting that information to Julian Assange. Look, guys, the Mueller report is basing 100% of their information on whether or not the DNC servers were hacked through CrowdStrike. You guys know who CrowdStrike is. The legitimacy of CrowdStrike being able to determine whether or not it was Russians who did this is fucking zero, y'all. CrowdStrike exists to do the work of the Democratic Party at this point, although I'm sure if the GOP paid them more, they would gladly go ahead and go to work for them. CrowdStrike is not a trustworthy actor. It is the exact same thing, and this is something that the Consortium News article brings to light as well, as the exact same thing as relying on information from Christopher Steele and the PP tape dossier and all of that bullshit. But we are going to see every member of the fucking Columbia School of Journalism talking head class go hour after hour after hour on the fucking Mueller report to tell you all about how Russia did this. I want you guys to know it's fucking bullshit. All of the evidence that VIPS has been able to look at has determined that the CIA's program Marble was more than likely the source of the hack. So, and it's not, I'm sorry, I said that all fucking wrong. It is not a hack, it is a leak. VIPS has determined over and over and over that this was a leak coming out of the DNC. How do they determine that? please fucking ask Bips, which you can actually do. I want to point out that the media is going to fall heavily on this notion that Russians left breadcrumbs or fingerprints, that they were the people responsible for this hack. That is something that we can't say for any sort of certainty. And for a pundit on TV to tell you that with certainty, I want you to know that they're fucking lying to you. Where's the meat here? Here we go. A leak from within the CIA, published on March 31st, 2017 by WikiLeaks as part of the so-called Vault 7 disclosures, exposed a cyber tool called Marble, which was used during 2016 for obfuscation. That's the CIA's terminology there. What this does is it can be used to conduct a forensic attribution double game. Double game is fancy speak for a false flag operation. What Marble does is it goes into your computer and it makes it look like the point of origin from wherever anybody was coming in to hack the computer was whatever point of origin you, by the user of Marble, would like it to be. So if you wanted it to look like there was a trail of breadcrumbs that led from the DNC servers straight to the motherfucking Kremlin, you, using this program, could do that. I I don't know how anybody could reasonably conclude that this part of the investigation, the DNC hack, I don't see how anybody conclude that that part of the investigation was done in any kind of good faith. Because they didn't interview anybody involved with it. They didn't call any witnesses during the entire 2.5, 3 years of the fucking Mueller probe that would provide any evidence one way or the other as to whether or not there was a Russian hack or a leak from within with an information being pulled directly off of the server, off the computer with access, and put on a zip drive and then handed over to WikiLeaks. You guys, they're going to beat this to death. This bullshit notion that Russia was behind it because it's the only conspiracy left where they don't have a tangible thing, a shred of conclusive proof within the contents of that Mueller report as to who was ultimately responsible for the information that became the Vault 7 drop. In my own personal opinion, it was Seth Rich who pulled the information off of the computer. He was found out and he was subsequently murdered by the Democratic National Committee, directed by Team Clinton. Of course, we don't know, and because they're not going to interview Julian Assange. There is a key little note in what Bill Barr was saying earlier, and that was that they didn't have any evidence to support some of the wild media claims that WikiLeaks had directed or participated in the hack of the DNC server. That's something that you guys can remember when you need to fucking shut down the neoliberals who are clamoring for the death of free speech. The Mueller report, in and of itself, determined that Donald Trump, the Donald Trump campaign, members of the transition team, did not collude with the Russian government to help Donald Trump win the 2016 election. That was the conspiracy theory. That was what the media has been pushing relentlessly for a couple of years. That got shut down. So the only thing they can do to get some of those fucking slipping ratings back is drag out the Russian hacking thing. It's a bullshit story. It's going to result in further muddying the waters of what is real and what is not. It's going to provide Trump with all of the leeway in the world to batter whatever opponent of his he faces on the debate stage who has been pushing this Russiagate nonsense, and that now not now, but still includes Bernie Sanders, who tweeted out today that it was a travesty and a sham that this interference took place. Bernie Sanders is going down the road of neoliberal centrism with a lot of his recent actions. I understand that the policy is marketed as progressive, but the policies in and of themselves are, again, mainline centrist policies in every other part of the fucking developed world. Bernie Sanders is only progressive because we live in fucking plastic pants crazy town. It's going to be a fucking weird ride. It is. I'm going to put some other stuff together. I've got a really couple of busy days coming up. We have a house party in Boulder Creek tomorrow night for Ron Placone. Ron Placone's coming up from LA. He's going to be here at the studio where we record the show. He's going to be telling jokes. If you're in the area, please feel free to come down. You can get a hold of me at slownewsdaypodcast at Gmail. You can also comment on the show directly. Hit us up on Twitter. We're at Slow News Day Show on Twitter. I fucking love you guys. It's going to be wild. And good luck to us all.